Hi, welcome back to Learn to Teach Remotely. In the previous section, we reviewed Bloom's digital taxonomy and the application grid which we can use to select the tools and technology to hit our desired learning outcomes. In this section, we will look into ways we can deliver the content remotely, whether online or offline. So what is modality? Modality is simply a way or method of delivering instruction. There are numerous ways of delivering it. It can be done face-to-face or remotely, commonly called distance learning. Distance learning is an educational process in which the majority of coursework or learning occurs while the students and instructors are in separate or physical location. They can be done online, which we call web-based instruction, which can also be synchronous or asynchronous, like what we're doing right now. It can be offline, computer-based, can be done through mobile, print, or via mass media, via broadcast. We will no longer dwell on the different examples and distinctions of each distance learning modality. If you wish to know more, I will be linking some articles in the distance learning modalities in our resources module. So, blended learning is lately getting more and more traction due to the school closures and the sudden shift to technology-enhanced instruction. Blended learning has been around for decades, and in simple terms, it means the use of technology, usually digital or online, in delivering instruction. There are numerous flavors of blended learning approach, which I'll be discussing on the next slide. Here we are. Here are the most common types of blended learning strategies. On your left are the ones you may be familiar with. These are station rotation, lab rotation, remote, flex, flipped classroom, which is very popular, and then the individual rotation. And on your right are the ones that are not too familiar, but I'm sure when you read on them, you would know you will realize that you already know them. So remember that blended learning is a combination, okay, of face-to-face and distance learning approach. You must have the face-to-face component for it to be rightly called blended learning. If without face-to-face, it's not blended learning. So I will be linking below the video, the article that would give you an overview of these learning approaches. So HighFlex. HighFlex is one of the most recent strategies that are being used to accommodate working higher ed learners. HighFlex, or stands for Hybrid Flexible Course Design, was developed by Dr. Brian Beatty and his colleagues at San Francisco State University. HighFlex is an approach where the students are given three ways of joining the class. Number one is face-to-face, where they can go attend their class in their brick-and-mortar campus. Second is a synchronous. They can join the class online live via live stream of the class. They can ask questions and participate in with their on-campus and online classmates. So this is live stream. The class is actually live streamed. Third is asynchronous. Students can view the recorded lecture and discussion and participate in the online forums, usually in their learning management platform. This learning strategy might suit higher education programs with laboratory classes because if you do this, you maintain a limited face-to-face session and social distancing as well. In HighFlex design, the students get to select which modality will suit them best at a particular time. So um, maybe today they can do synchronous. Next week they can do the asynchronous. So it's really very flexible. This allows more for flexibility and does not limit their attendance in the class. I will be linking below the video the podcast of Dr. Beatty and his open book on HighFlex. If you'd like to learn more, maybe we can discuss this in the forum later on. But before you proceed on deciding the modality, I want you to think and take note of the available resources that you and your students have access to. It would be much better if you could do a formal survey. It is important to know how many have access to internet, how often they can access it, and how reliable their connections are, and what devices they can use to participate in the class. So these are just a few questions you can ask to help you determine or decide on the modality or mode of delivering instruction. So how do we select? Suppose we did a survey and we got the following data. This is just a sample survey. So for example, in a class of 60, 32 have PC, but they don't have internet. 15 have computers, but and internet. Only 9 have can access via mobile, and 4 doesn't have devices at all. So how are we then going to choose which modality should we focus on? The idea here is to cater to the majority. Let me repeat, the majority, and prepare special materials for those who fall below the majority. So what does that mean? In our example, majority of the students have personal computers, but they do not have internet at home. So in this case, we can do computer-based modality. We can design activities for them to do without internet. You can have interactive standalone learning objects or preloaded instructional videos and USBs, which those can really work well in this scenario. Those who have no device can be given printed worksheets or modules which they can answer at home. So, what are the other ways to help students access the digital materials? Rest of the students who cannot access the internet can be given printed modules or lend use tablets so they can view the multimedia materials offline. Another way is to schedule school visits to allow them to go online using the school computers. You can capitalize also on the community resources. Perhaps you have a barangay hall or a community center with internet and computers that the students can use. So you can also tap small businesses to adopt a few students and allow them to piggyback on their internet connection. The idea here is to be creative and resourceful. We know that it is very difficult at first. This is why time is a crucial element. The soonest we can start preparing the materials, the better. Now that you have identified modality, you can then start preparing materials which would work best on the particular modality you have chosen. The next videos will be sharing with you the best practices in developing content that are suitable for different modalities. So, till next time, happy learning!